Drift is Ableton's brand new analog modeled synth. It is perfect for warm, gritty sound design. And today I'm going to show you how to use it in 15 minutes, step by step. And as part of this tutorial, I've put together a custom Drift preset pack for you to download. Here are some of the sounds. Grab that for free right now down below, and with that, let's hop in. And first things first, let's look at the overall interface of Drift. We can split it up into a few different sections. The first is this oscillator and mix section, which is this black one at the beginning on the left here. We then have the filter directly after that. We have two envelopes in this little section here. We have an LFO with an interchangeable modulation section. And then lastly, we have the voicing and output section. And this roughly correlates to how the signal from an oscillator to the output flows, which is very handy. So speaking of the oscillator section, we've got two oscillators up in the top left here. Now, oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 do look a little different from each other. Obviously, oscillator 1 is yellow, oscillator 2 is blue. However, the features are slightly different as well. For example, in oscillator 1, you've got a greater number of waveforms to choose from. You can select between sine, triangle, these two kind of weird ones, a saw, a pulse width square, and a normal square, right? However, with oscillator 2, you just have a few more of the basic ones. You've got this kind of tri-saw one that I skipped over before, and then you don't have that other kind of weird saw kind of looking one, right? And you don't have the PWM square either. So there's a few differences. Both have octave controls, and by default, this one is a sine set down to octave, which is kind of a subby sort of effect, right? You can obviously change these, change the waveform. Now, if we just disable oscillator 2 here for a second, let's just focus on what's going on with oscillator 1. We've got a saw wave, and now there's this shape option, which if we play a note and increase, it'll kind of give it this sync effect, which is this cool pitchy sort of modulation. Now, the effect will be different depending on the waveform you choose. Pulse width square, kind of a cool effect there, right? So it's a really cool modulation trick you can use in Drift. It's unique to Drift. Not many of the other synths have it. Next, we've got this modulation source. You'll see a lot of mod sources scattered around Drift's interface where you click on it and you can choose what you're modulating from and the percentage value. Now, slide and pressure are actually MPE controls if you have a Rolly C board or some sort of other MPE-enabled MIDI controller. It's a very expressive way of modulating and adding some organic stuff to a sound. I personally don't have an MPE-enabled controller, so I'll use all these other ones, which are built-in ones. So for example, I could make that the velocity of the note I press, and I'll increase the amount of the percentage here. Pressing quieter, pressing louder. I'm going to move that back down to 0 because I don't want any modulation at the moment. Back to oscillator 2, you have a detune section, which means that you can detune oscillator 2 slightly from oscillator 1 to get some really cool like pitch effects, right? Just thickens up the sound a little bit. We can go to a different waveform to hear that better. Now we're getting this kind of cool Reese sound, right? One cool thing you can do is you can set it to re-trigger, meaning that oscillator 1 and 2 will start at the same start point. I've played around with this and can't really hear a difference, but it is cool if you've got any weird phase stuff going on between the oscillators, you can enable that and it may change your sound and improve it. You can obviously blend the amount of oscillators, which is fairly self-explanatory. This is going to contribute a lot to the overall sound that comes out. Before we move on to these three buttons on the right here, we've got a pitch mod section, which is this similar concept to this mod source, right? So we can choose a mod source and modulate the pitch. So for example, envelope 2 here, which I'll get to in a second, I could increase up. We get a bit of a gunshot ricochet type effect, right? Do from the LFO as well, like it says on the right here. So you can modulate from two sources to the pitch at the same time. Pretty handy. Great for getting some sort of lo-fi effects. And then lastly, you've got this little display. So this will show you the resulting waveform from all of the oscillators being added up together. This is kind of what it will look like. You can add in noise as well, and you'll see the noise actually comes into the little view here, which is cool. Right, and the shape, octave, detune amount, all modulates this visual display here. I really like that. It's not something that many analog style synths actually put in there because it's not really traditional. Now I can turn off any of the oscillators by pressing the corresponding number or N for noise there if I don't want it on. And these three yellow, blue, and red buttons send each of these oscillators to the filter. And if you want something to bypass the filter and go straight to the output, you can just turn it off. Speaking of the filter, let's move on to the filter section now. This is where you can shape it with a low pass and a high pass filter. There are two different types of filters. I find 2 is a bit of a steeper octave. It does say it's a 24 dB per octave, and 1 is a 12 dB per octave. So if you're wanting a more subtle sound, leave it on 1. You can control it on this view in the middle here between the envelopes, or you can control it with the knob here. I like using this view because you can also boost the resonance at the same time, like on many of Ableton's other devices. You've also got this high pass filter, which is a separate control. The resonance doesn't really apply to the high pass filter. It's just kind of a set and forget sort of thing. So if you're wanting to cut some lows out of your sound, it's a really cool way just to do that really quick. I think I wish more synths had this really quick high pass filter on it, because I actually have been using this quite a bit. With the frequency cutoff, you can actually, again, modulate from different modulators like we did with the pitch mod and with the shape. Again, you've got 2 controls. This is set to press by default pressure. But for example, if I want envelope 2 rather, to control the amount of frequency modulation, I could go down to oscillator 2 here and could shape that accordingly. Now, speaking of envelopes, by default, envelope 1 is going to control your overall output, right? This is pretty standard on most synths. Envelope 1 is the overall shape. So I can make the sustain less, turn it into more of a pluck, add some release, add some attack. It's a pretty handy, simple, but effective envelope, right? Nothing too fancy. Now, the difference here is envelope 2, which by default has to be mapped to something via one of these modulation sources, or as we'll cover in the mod section here. Like right now, it's being mapped to the frequency cutoff. I can, again, use the view here to shape these controls too. I don't have to just use the knobs. I can add a bit of attack. The other cool thing, though, with envelope 2 is you can actually turn this cycling function, which turns it into an LFO-like cycling sort of effect. You can shape it with this tilt and hold effect, which is basically going to turn it more into a high modulation rather than like a triangle, rather. Tilt's going to turn it between kind of like a saw on either side, like a ramp up saw or a ramp down saw with a bit of a curve. It's just cool to play around with. Let me play this with the filter modulated. Pretty cool. Now you can actually set the time mode to a bunch of different modes. By default, it's just FreeSynced Hertz. You can do milliseconds as well, which is similar to Hertz, just a different value. 1:1 is a ratio of the pitch, which is pretty cool, which is great for these kind of like really fast pitchy type effects, right? So if I set this to like a nice ratio of 4, you'll see some and hear some really cool results. So if you want to go crazy, you can go like all the way up to 16, right? At this point, it's almost like AM or FM. And then obviously you've got synced mode, so this will sync it to whatever your host tempo is. Great for more rhythmic on-beat effects. Let's go back to a non-cycling envelope. Now we'll move on to the LFO, which is similar to the envelope 2 on cycling mode. However, LFO is more of a traditional LFO, right? You can choose between any of the same time modes I just covered with the rate here. Again, you can use the ratio if you want to. If you're into that, I'm going to use the sync to the host BPM. You can choose between a bunch of different really, really cool LFOs as well. Like you got your standard sine, triangle, saw up, saw down, square. Sample and hold's a bit more like blocky random, and I increase the amount of pitch modulation. You can get some really cool like modular, like bleep bloop type effects. Wander is more of a soft random. Great if you're wanting like a lo-fi kind of tape effect, but something a little less predictable than just like a sine or something. Linear envelope is kind of what it says, right? You can actually change the amount of that inflection at the start with the amount knob here. And this goes for all of the different types. You can change the amplitude of the modulation. But it's pretty cool to add that kind of nice a pluck effect or something like that, especially if you go to like a faster result. And lastly, you've got exponential envelope, which is the same thing, but it's a bit more rapid to come down to the original value. You can then turn on retrig if you want it to trigger on at the same point every time a note is triggered. I like to do this, especially for this kind of effect where I want something a little pluckier. I'm going to bring the attack back so we can hear this effect more. You can hear how that's really sick for plucks. So if we go back to something like maybe the saw down, go to something a bit slower, you can hear that really cool kind of pitch effect. You can actually modulate the amount of pitch modulation with another source. So for example, I could actually use my mod wheel to change the amount. I'm going to go to the mod section here and just turn off the existing modulations really quick. Right, and so if I bring this up to 100%, as I move the mod wheel on my keyboard, so the mod actually controls the amount of modulation. You can hear that modulation engaged there, and obviously change the amount to make it more subtle or obvious. Pretty cool effect. I'm going to go back to my exponential envelope for now. Quickly in the mod section, we've got 3 additional modulations we can add. So we select the source, the amount, and the destination. Now, the sources we've gone over pretty much already. The destinations, however, you've got here are a little different. You can do the oscillator 1 gain or volume, the shape of oscillator 1, the gain of oscillator 2, and then the detune of oscillator 2, which obviously we don't have the shape, the noise gain, low pass frequency or resonance, the high pass frequency, which is helpful if you want like some thinning out of the sound. You can do the LFO rate, and then you've got the cycle envelope rate if cycling is enabled on the second envelope. And then you can do your master volume, which is pretty cool. So I could say my mod wheel could control the master volume. At minimum, it's nothing. And I can just move my mod wheel there and get some really cool effects. I'm going to bring that back down to 0. You can do this 2 more times with the exact same controls. Nothing is really different between the 3. And then you can go from there. Now, lastly, we'll really quickly cover the voicing and output section. There's 4 different modes. There's poly, which is a standard mode, which allows you to play multiple notes at the same time. There's mono, which allows you to play 1 note at the same time. Great for bass sounds. Perfect when you combine it with the legato and glide to get those cool pitch portamento effects. And turn the sustain up on the filter a bit. Higher glide, you get more of an effect, right? Great for like disco-y leads or kind of very saucy sounds, right? You've also got this mono thickness. One of my favorite drift features, to be honest, because what it does is it kind of adds this low-end thickness to whatever sound you got. So I'm gonna increase this. It adds like this weight below the sound, which is perfect if you want it to just have this bit more oomph in your mix, right? Really cool. Stereo is a really cool addition as well. You can create this kind of cool stereo voice. It doesn't sound like unison or detune, but it's got this thickness and width. And then lastly, you've got unison. Unison is your classic detune effect, right? Sounds very underwatery, this type of unison. I really like it. I'm going to switch this back to poly for now. You can select how many voices you want the synth to be able to play at once. Obviously, more means that you'll be using more of your CPU if you play big chord stacks. So you can decrease that if you need to. Drift as well is one of my favorite features, probably my favorite feature of Drift. Because what it does is it sets the amount of variation per voice. It makes the cutoff and pitch and all these parameters slightly different for each note, giving it that analog quality that sets this apart from just being another digital synth. If I increase this quite a bit, you'll hear exactly what I mean. I'm actually going to turn off the pitch LFO so we can specifically hear the pitch effects. I'm going to go even higher. I don't know if you can hear that, but certain notes just have this little bit of detune to them, and it makes it feel like I'm playing an old Jupiter or a Juno or something like that, which has been around for years, and the circuitry is probably a bit dusty and worn out. Top it all off, you've got volume for the master output. You got your velocity to volume control. So if you want every note to be the same loudness on a velocity sensitive MIDI keyboard, you can just bring this down to 0, which I use a lot for bass sounds, to be honest. If you like having that velocity variation though, you can bring it up even higher. You can also transpose the entire instrument. And then you've got the pitch bend range, which enables the pitch wheel to go up and down on your MIDI keyboard. So that is the gist of Drift. It's a simple yet focused and unique synth. So I'm just going to go back to the default preset here and quickly show you 3 of my favorite uses for Drift. And the first one is to combine drift, pitch modulation, and voicing changes in the detune for these really thick sounds. So I'm actually going to get the default preset here. I'm going to set the oscillator 2 to the saw as well. I'm going to detune them from each other slightly in the same octave. I'm going to set a little bit of LFO modulation. I'm going to change the amount and make the rate a bit faster using the Wonder effect. All right, and then I'm going to go and set the drift up to quite a high amount. And I'm going to make this release really long to make it this nice sparkly sound. This sounds straight out of like a Boards of Canada track now, right? Absolutely incredible, thick, lush sounds. Imagine adding some beautiful like hybrid reverb or echo or something to that, right? Incredible sounding, right? I love this. Number 2 is to really go in with that cycling envelope to create some really interesting pitch modulations and other types of modulations. I like to go into the mod and go envelope 2 to the master volume. I think that's really fun to see what you can come up with. Especially when you go into like the 1-to-1 ratio. Get these really glassy, crispy sounds, right? Especially when you go high ratio values and then you change the amount of the hold and tilt. We do this on a filtered sound as well. Oof, sounds beautiful, right? Absolutely love playing with this and just modulating it over time as well, even right-clicking and automating it, right? Absolutely fun just to get some cool effects. On this note, I'm going to use envelope 1 here and turn it into a pluck. One thing I love to do, and I'm going to go to the shape here and select envelope 1 and modulate the shape of oscillator 1 with the plucky envelope. Now let's turn off the filter for now. I'll actually turn off the amount of modulation on envelope 2 to the main volume. And you can just hear that plucky effect that's added, right? By that modulation on envelope 1 of the shape. This is especially true if we envelope 1 to the filter cutoff. You know, obviously make the decay a bit longer. It's just great for plucky sounds. Even you could use envelope 2 to do the pluck, right? We could select envelope 2 on both of these things. Make envelope 1 a bit longer. Right, maybe a bit of sustain. Really cool effect to get these nice plucky transients at the beginning of your sound. And with that, that is Drift, guys. I hope you picked up a solid fundamental understanding of the synth, but also some really cool tips and tricks that you can use. Again, if you want to see the sounds that this synth is capable of, grab this free Drift preset pack down below. Like and subscribe and do all the normal stuff. And until next time, guys, happy producing.